From Cognizant's own Asia Pacific perspective, I have to ask you, and when we talk about Andhra Pradesh's digital talent pool, how would you really look at the university ecosystem that supports large scale GCC operations as well? What kind of insight can you offer there?
So, uh, from a point of view of a global company like ourselves, I think as I said in the beginning, there are two or three large elements. Talent is a big part. When we evaluate places, and when I see Vizag, for example, I see a good set of institutions in and around Vizag, which is churning what we call as fresh talent. Because this fresh talent gets into the talent pool and over a period of time grows and become more and more experienced and gathers experience as companies like ourselves give global mobility to people, they grow around the globe and come back. One key element that I see in the case of Vizag is it is it is a good city that can even attract talent who do not traditionally belong to Vizag. I think the growth of IT industry or GCC or global companies really come from a blend of local talent and global talent at the same place. That's how hubs grow. And I think those elements do exist. It's a cosmopolitan town. It has got the infrastructure, and the infrastructure is becoming better every day. So I think for these two elements coming together, specifically from a GCC standpoint, I think GCCs, when they landed about 10, 15 years back in India, they traditionally landed at the traditional hubs of Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, NCR, and so on and so forth. But I personally believe that there is a new wave of GCC that would come in the recent, maybe another 6 months, 1 year, and it's already coming. Would be mid-sized companies, global companies, who would look at establishing a GCC in India. And for these mid-sized companies, emerging towns, in my opinion, is a very good landing spot. The other GCC opportunity specifically is secondary locations for larger GCCs. So if I have a GCC, I've grown to 30,000 people in one of the large cities, and I want a secondary location to tap into a newer set of talent pool. So for them, emerging hubs like Vizag is a very good choice, which is not too far off from a larger hub, have the same kind of talent, might be slightly lower cost, and gives them diversity in the way they operate. I think, and it also applies for ITES in general, not just for GCCs. That's what I think.
Gaurav, help me understand this. As global leadership teams are evaluating Andhra Pradesh truly, which ecosystems do you think and which strengths do you think are most compelling today? Also, what forthcoming developments are you really looking at penciling in that will further strengthen Andhra Pradesh's own position as the next generation GCC hub?
Yeah, so I think when we look at a state is really defined by one or two anchor hubs in the state. So I'll talk about cities rather than the state. It's more relevant, I would say. I think when global leaders reevaluate locations, there are 3 or 4 dimensions like I explained. One is the quality of talent and the quantum of talent that is available. I think from the quality and quantum of talent, AP is really there because it's the same talent that is today going worldwide and working in IT companies and tech sector across the globe. So talent is available. There are institutions where talent is available, and there are also lateral talent. I'm talking of experienced talent that originates from this part of the world and works globally. So talent is there, and it just has to be sort of channelized into companies which are now in Andhra or trying to grow in Andhra, and so that this talent becomes more sort of anchored into the hub. That is one. I think from an infrastructure perspective, we are seeing a lot of development. We are seeing a lot of plans put together by the government and by the state in general. And I think if they double down on one hub like they have done in Vizag, and we tend to focus that Vizag is going to be the anchor for tech, then I think the industry looks at infrastructure development which is conducive for tech, social infrastructure, health infrastructure, schools, very important element, because when we move our employees, we have to make sure that they have the required social infrastructure, which is health, entertainment, and education available at the same place. So it's not just the infrastructure to create talent, but also infrastructure to support their social life. I think that's an important element, and I always talk to state governments about the quality of social infrastructure, the quality of life, ease of living. The third element is obviously the vision of the state. What does the state really want to do is extremely important. And if the state has put together its mind saying that we want to make it a tech hub, GCC, tech, big tech, data center, all of them put together, then they have, and they are able to execute with speed. I think these three elements are good enough to make a decision.